Hey everybody, what's up? It's Akimbo's, and today we got a nice little nuke for y'all. We were using the Holger, or alternatively known as the G36C, if you put the 30 mag on it, which is exactly what we did for this gameplay, and honestly, it worked out splendidly. I really had a good time making this video, because these dudes they kept coming. They kept coming out of nowhere and just surprising me and stuff. I mean, to a degree anyway. And part of what I really liked about that was just how impressed I was with what I could do with just 30 rounds. I really thought that 30 rounds, initially anyway, was going to be kind of a thing that would end up limiting me. But to be honest, I found that the extra mobility was well worth the trade-off that 30 rounds would actually end up being. And so I took it and I ran with it. I thought it actually helped me out. And the class setup that we're using on this is, of course, the Holger with the Viper reflex sight, the Commando foregrip, the tac laser, the monolithic suppressor, and the 30 round mag. Now this thing, it's kind of demanding. You need to hit your shots with this gun, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to drop 3 or 4 people at a time, which is a pretty important thing in ground war with there being such a high volume of players at any given time. You're going to see some pretty good examples of that in this gameplay over here at the B flag several times when I end up getting pushed by groups of people, and the only reason I'm able to take them out is because I'm using good crosshair placement and paying attention to my mini-map and my radar and my compass, all that stuff, making sure that I'm aware of what positions people are going to take, or at least trying to anticipate that based off of the places that my teammates control anyway. So one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about in this video was my hopes for the future of ground war. Now honestly, I have no idea what it's going to be like. I hope that it's some version of this, but newer. Oh man, Battle Hardened really helped me out right there. I hope it's some version of this where, there's a lot of players and the maps are big, a lot of place to explore. I just hope that they make good maps. Like, I'm not a game designer, so I don't necessarily have the vocabulary to explain why I think some maps are better than others. I guess it's just the way that certain cover is arranged throughout the areas. I don't know. But what I do know is that this map right here, Karst River Quarry, it's kind of a difficult map to enjoy, at least for me anyway. I just feel like the way that it's set up, I really prefer to patrol the insides of the buildings near Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. I don't like to go to the end flags A or E much at all, because there's a huge open space, and in order to rotate to a flag like that, you're putting a lot of risk on yourself to get, sniped or tank, or you get shot by a tank all the way across the thing. That kind of stuff just bugs me, and I mean, there's not a whole lot I can really do, to be honest. It's just the way the game is. One of the other things I want to talk about was also how I learned to nuke, because it actually wasn't too long ago in 2021 or 2020, whenever it was I started playing this game again, when, oh, that's my neighbors up there making a bunch of noise. Sorry about that. A bunch of things that I was trying to learn, and I remember in the early stages of this game, kind of like season, I don't know, 4 or 5. I guess that's kind of early for me, because I started pretty late, honestly. I was watching YouTubers and streamers, and they were just dropping nukes all the time. Man, this is incredible. How are they doing it? And the best thing I really ended up doing was just watching them, analyzing them, and trying to see like tendencies, like identify patterns, and try to emulate that, because for the longest I was running around all over the place, kind of like a chicken with its head cut off, and I was completely oblivious to everything. I mean, it was a mess. And If it wasn't for like my studying of that, it probably wouldn't have turned out the way it did. I mean, that's one of the things that really set me apart from other people, I guess, was just the importance of grit, deliberate practice, and studying. It was those three things that got me to where I am. And to be honest, I really came a long way. There was a pretty good point in time when I couldn't do things like this. I couldn't drop nukes like this. A game like this that you're seeing now would just be completely unheard of. I would never get a game like this. I was terrible at the game, but I stuck with it. I really think it's those three things that I was focusing on. You know, deliberate practice, just making sure that you understand what you need to do and trying to work with the intention to improve, not just playing passively and casually, which, I mean, that's all well and good, but I want to have fun. And how do you have more fun? Drop crazier numbers. At least that's how it is for me anyway. The next thing is studying. And what I mean by studying is, you know, watching these good players who are doing what I want to do. Just trying to figure out how they're doing it and try to learn from the best, which is what they were at the time. And arguably still are, because I'm pretty sure, you know, like James Butler and Booyah, they can play circles around me, but I won't lie. I've improved a lot since I first started, and a little humility goes a long way. I know I'm not the best, but realistically, I'm pretty good. And check this shot out right here. I'm telling you, dude, this thing has weird kick, but if you can control it, it beams. Like, it really does things like that. It's amazing. And then the last thing that I think is really important is just the importance of grit, because even though I feel like I had all these great tools to help me out to get to where I'm at, a lot of it was the perseverance, the grit. If it wasn't for any of that, I feel like I would have given up a long time ago, and you know, I would have just quit the game and moved on to something else, got frustrated with that, moved on to something. The cycle would continue. And I really just felt like this was a cool game. This was the game I wanted to be good at. Like, this was the thing, man. And I was determined, very determined, to get good at it and just figure it out, analyze it. And actually, that kind of segues nicely into a different story about how I even got into Call of Duty in the first place. Remember, I was over there at my friend's house, and I'd never played Call of Duty before in my life. And he's like, yo, you want to play some COD? Let's 1v1. I was like, oh, okay. So we play it, I get destroyed. I was pretty mad. So I decided the next time I came back, I was going to be ready. I was going to be prepared. And when the opportunity presented itself, I came back and I kicked his butt. I mean, he was kind of a noob like me, but he at least had some experience on the game. I was actually studying it, like turning it into Call of Duty school. Anyway, yeah, that little piece of, you know, destruction against me kind of turned me into what I am now, where I just wanted to get better and wanted to figure out the game. And I wanted to get better, and I discovered I had a passion for Call of Duty. I'm not necessarily satisfied, but I'm happy where I'm at and how far I've come along in this journey. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you, and hopefully you have a good day or night. Peace.